All right.
Welcome to the show. We're just getting started now.
We're letting Chris eat.
Yeah, we didn't go on a 5-minute diatribe about how bad chip and the charge ups are. We're starting.
I'm now too. Okay. I will start this week. I nominated Sometime Around Midnight by the Airborne Toxic Event, and I was also
You guys all have paperwork. Should I have paperwork?
Probably. I was also the news bearer that Fuck Armageddon, This Is Hell by Bad Religion was nominated through the medium of me by Greg Graffin. I'm going to bounce it to Rod.
Oh, hi. So, my favorite chip in the charts up. Oh, wait a minute. What?
All right, we got to start over now. Hold on.
I know. Welcome to the show. So, I'm going to take out a bunch of hosers. Look, Chris is laughing. He's gone out. Chili dog's coming out his face, but he's laughing. All right, I got nominated something. Oh, Eve of Destruction by Barry Manilow or somebody.
No, not Barry Manilow.
Barry Maguire.
One of the Maguire sisters.
One of the Maguire sisters played for the A's on steroids. Next.
No,
don't tag him either.
That's Toby Maguire.
That's Toby Maguire.
Toby Maguire played for the A's and was on steroids. He was my favorite Batman, by the way.
He was.
Wait. Toby Maguire was Spider-Man.
I'm bouncing it to Rich.
All right, speed round. Who's your favorite Batman? No, okay. We're off to a great start.
You should never be in the same room for the show again.
I nominated. They're going to separate us. What did I nominate?
I did 20 years of that.
All you wanted was a Pepsi.
Two of them in the room.
Only one Pepsi.
Exactly. I nominated Institutionalized by Suicidal Tendencies. Den Man?
I nominated Cemetery Gates by Pantera. And then it leaves Chris.
I nominated Tribute by Tenacious D.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, everybody here in this room is writing stuff.
I'm making my decisions.
You're making notes.
I got to make my decisions.
Who's going to start?
I'll start.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Suicidal Tendency song is the best of the group.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Nobody was able to pick a song better than mine. Again,
Hard to argue that.
The 8th straight week. We've only been doing it for 6.
Getting ahead of yourself, but that's all right.
Well, let me think. I'll start with Cemetery Gates because it was. Did I get that right?
Cemetery Gates?
Yep.
Yeah. Man, I'm super tired. That's the one I was the least familiar with. And I liked the song, and I liked it a lot. But it was weird. It didn't sound like a Pantera song to me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the way
It's funny you say that, Rich. Real quick, and that's why, like, the week before when I did the Demon Hunter song, I Am a Stone, like, I'll listen to them, but there's always a song that intrigues me that doesn't always sound like a normal song that they would normally do. And I don't know why, but I'm attracted, or I'm lean more towards that kind of songs. Like, I don't know if you heard the one Disturbed song called The Light.
No.
Which is a good one. Maybe I'll nominate it, but it doesn't sound like anything else that they do. So it's funny you say that, Rich, because that's I feel the same way.
Yeah, because I'm used to that.
Go ahead.
That Pantera kind of. I don't know what's a good way to call it. Like
the
crunch or something.
in your face growl, like that Walk and Cowboys from Hell and Domination.
Yeah.
Like whereas because I think if you look at, to me, like the big 5 of metal bands being Metallica, Pantera, Megadeth, Anthrax, and Slayer, each of them have something very distinct to them. And to me, Cemetery. Sorry, I'm taking.
No, go ahead.
But Cemetery Gates sounds more like a Metallica song, because Metallica to me is characterized by like Ride the Lightning and Master of Puppets, where they have these very clean interludes that are very musicianship oriented, and then it segues into metal that's not as fast paced, it's not as riff driven, it's just heavy metal played over just this beautiful, clean riff. And that is what Cemetery Gates sounds like to me. Whereas Pantera is more riff-driven, more in-your-face, more growl, deeper, more distorted.
What he said.
So, sorry, I'll defect.
You'll defect.
Back to Rich.
You'll defect.
Where Rich should be. I took over his bit.
What do I have to say about Tribute?
It's the greatest song in the world.
Greatest tribute in the world.
It's the greatest tribute song. It's not the greatest song in the world. It's the greatest tribute song in the
Greatest
world.
tribute song in the
The
world.
greatest song.
I
Yeah.
know what you have to say about it. It's better than Institutionalized.
That one, I don't have that to say about it. I like Tribute, but I'm going to say no. Partly because of Jack Black. And I don't know why. Jack Black doesn't belong here. I'm just going to say it. We've already made one act mad from the Pittsburgh area, which we won't name. But now Jack Black doesn't belong here.
So, I'm just getting this right. So, there's only been one other person that we've said on this show doesn't belong here, and that was Beethoven. So, you're telling me Jack Black and Beethoven are in the same category for anything?
For this show?
And
Yes.
last week we also counted out the baby Jesus.
So Jesus,
So,
Jack
Jesus,
Black, and Beethoven.
Beethoven, yes.
Beethoven and Jack Black walk into a bar.
They don't belong here. But a tribute's a great song.
Look, I'm going to just say it outright. If you don't vote for Tenacious D tribute, then the whole purpose of this podcast is moot.
Wow.
It doesn't. This podcast won't mean anything moving forward because the whole idea is the greatest song in the world. This is a tribute to the greatest song in the world. Therefore, it needs to win this contest. Otherwise, we just should stop doing it.
But we're looking for the actual greatest song in the world, not a copy of the
But
greatest
the whole
song. Which
point is you will never hear the greatest song in the world. So you have to honor the tribute to the greatest song in the world because we don't know what the greatest song in the world is. We have to
we
do
do.
the
It's
tribute.
institutionalized by suicidal tendencies. We're getting there.
Well, no, Jack Black and this guy, that other his friend played the greatest song in the world to the devil, apparently.
Yeah,
They played
the devil.
institutionalized by suicidal
Oh,
tendencies.
they played institutionalized. Now I get it.
Because what do they say in the song Tribute? The song Tribute doesn't sound anything at all like the song that they played.
But
Tribute sounds nothing
but-
like institutionalized.
So what you're telling me is that Jack Black wrote institutionalized by suicidal tendencies because in the song he says, "Come up with the greatest song in the world right now,"
well, he says,
and they did.
the devil said, play the first song, like you play the greatest song in the world, and he said they played the first
Right,
thing
the
that came to
greatest
their
song,
head.
like,
He doesn't say he wrote
He
it.
doesn't say he wrote it ever. It could be. It's completely ambiguous. It could be What a Wonderful World.
Little known fact, Jack
Black
Black earlier that day was listening
tribute.
to Suicidal Tendencies' first album, which is why he had it in his head. And he's like, hey, other fat guy in this band, we got to learn to play this song. And the other fat guy was like, Jack, you're 100% right. Original fat guy, more famous fat guy. There's more famous fat guy, and there's lesser known fat guy. So the two fat guys then learned how to play Suicidal Tendencies Institutionalized. Then they have a couple beers, and then they're leaving. Poof! The devil appears in front of them, and then you know this part because they wrote the song about it. And they're not real bright, these two fellows. So that's why they couldn't remember Institutionalized later. But they're like, we got to write a tribute to whatever the song was we were playing.
They all they had was an acoustic guitar. So wouldn't it be a little more apropos if they had played something like Eve of Destruction?
Eve of Destruction, thank you. Great segue.
Segueing you into
Wow, that was well done.
These
Did you
guys
see
working.
that?
I'm seeing the magic right here in my living room. It's amazing. The magic, the dynamic duo here.
Eve of Destruction is a great song. And somebody's going to mention how terrible it sounds if you listen to it in headphones.
Me.
So leaving that part out, it's a great song. It's another one of those songs that, like, it was written 150 years ago, and it's still relevant. It's still relevant today somehow. like one of those types of songs. It's a great song, and I'm really, even as I'm talking, I'm not sure where it's going to land here for me. But I think sometime around midnight by the Airborne Toxic event. I apologize. I drove it all day. Thank you. I love that song, and it does have violins in it. So, violins.
Check that box.
Yeah, check the violin box.
Check. You got that checked. Thank you.
Circle,
Everybody on your scorecards at home, the bingo cards, violins. We've mentioned violins, so that's a
Check mark.
bingo.
Check mark.
Check mark.
Check mark.
I remember where I was the first time I heard that song, and remember thinking I've got to hear that song again because I heard it on the radio. Back when the radio used to be a thing. I don't know if you guys.
What's the radio?
I've heard of that.
You've heard of it, the radio?
Yeah.
You mean that streaming thing that we get on our phones?
No. This is like a thing in the car. I'll write
Like
it down.
on my phone, I put it to my phone to my car.
Yep, that's the radio then.
Yeah.
So right now, I'm going to say, obviously, Institutionalized is the best because it's the greatest song ever written because those two fat guys did a cover version of it. But my vote would be for sometime around midnight, and second would be Eve of Destruction.
All right.
Dead Man, you're up.
Yeah.
Sounds like Pantera in there.
Yeah. So it's funny because one of the things that I was a sucker for back when that came out, the Pantera song Cemetery Gates, because the first time I actually heard it used extensively was Zakk Wylde using those pinch harmonics. But one of the things I loved about Dimebag is that he was able to do it on the lower strings too. Like not just on the third or fourth string and higher. He can do them on the sixth string, the fifth string, and maybe the seventh string if he he might have been playing seventh string guitar. So that's one of the things that I really remembered about it that just really like stuck with me. And that's one of the reasons why I chose it. But yeah, I do kind of tend to like that kind of songs that aren't typical of the band. Like I love them, but there's always one that stands out. It's usually one that is not, typical for them. So that's my take on that. Eve of Destruction, as soon as I listen to it, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that. Heck yeah. But how long ago? I don't even remember the last time I heard it, but yeah, definitely. It was fun to listen to the Black Flag song, and I was really surprised by how much I liked Sometime Around Midnight. Like, I really did enjoy that a lot.
The way it builds is great.
Yes.
Flag. Sorry.
What?
Yeah, the way that song builds.
Yes.
Sometime Around Midnight, the way it builds up.
And to me, like the ending bit, like the climax of the song, is one of the best things in all of music, where he's just repeatedly saying, "You just have to see her," and then it ends with the line, "You know that she'll break you in two." To me, that it perfectly sums up the song and all of the emotions that he's feeling in the moment.
Yeah. So I might have to say that could be one of my new favorites, actually.
Ooh.
I really did like it that much.
Yeah.
And of course, yeah, like I said, Black Flag was fun, especially knowing that who nominated it. That's pretty interesting.
Suicidal Tendencies.
And I loved Institutionalized because it's a great song, right?
Yeah.
This is a tough one for me. This is really tough because I'm going to have to go Sometime Around Midnight, number 1, Institutionalized, number 2, and Eve of Destruction, number 3. And I didn't mention the tribute song, which is a great song, but to me it's comedy, so
Exactly. Yeah.
And not that it's bad, it's comedy. It's comedy, so that's why I didn't vote for it. So you've got my ranking there, right? Sometime Around Midnight, Institutionalized, and Eve of Destruction. Those are my top 3. So
Nobody's mentioned the Bad Religion song yet.
Oh yeah, I forgot the Bad Religion song.
We all kind of, I think we forgot.
Guess it's at the bottom.
yeah.
Right.
Well, that's better than the tribute song. I'm sorry. All right, who wants to go next? Chris, do you want to?
Okay. So, just to lead this off by saying you all have no clue what the hell you're talking about. Zero.
We established that week 1.
Yeah.
All right. We agree.
I'm sorry to say that if you can't honor the namesake song for this podcast with some votes, then you don't have any. I would vote for other songs, but there's only one. In my opinion, there's only one song actually was nominated this week, just one. So I have no choice but to choose Tenacious D. I know we're not supposed to do our own, but if another song, if there was another song actually nominated for this, then I would go for that song. But since the only song that actually was nominated for this that actually really means anything, then I have to go with Tenacious D and Tribute. So
Okay, so it's agreed. Chris
Not
is institutionalized.
just kidding. So all right, so since I can't, obviously I can't brainwash the rest of you. Anyway,
A tribute's a pretty good song.
Tribute's a badass song. and the fact that it's comedy, it's got the devil in it. That actually, it's like devil went down to Georgia. It's like I mean, come on. It's just great. And it's just all around, just great song. But I digress. So if you're going to make me like pick from the other lesser songs that were now nominated this week,
We are.
okay, I have to go with Institutionalized as number 1.
Yeah.
The song is just out of this world. This is a hard one. I like both of the songs, but if I'm going to have to pick one, I'm going to have to go Eve of Destruction. It's a classic song. I mean, I'm sorry. It's just really, it's enjoyable from all standpoints. For me, that's how old is that song, anyways?
1964.
64, we think.
64.
Yeah.
Where's our crack research staff?
The crack research staff doesn't have his second monitor today.
Hold on.
I come from my mom and dad both listened to a lot of like 60s music, obviously, because they were 60s kids. My mother she had 45s out the wazoo. I was talking, and that actually happened to be one of the 45s that she had.
Did you see a doctor about that?
Yeah, I'm probably. Let's put it this way. She needed doctors on multiple levels because she
For that
was just
wazoo thing, that's painful.
Well, she only brought it on herself. Let's just put it that way, because she was crazy. She was lunatic. Anyway, in many ways and forms, so she was.
He's waving up.
Yes. Out there in the crowd.
Eve of Destruction was written in 1965.
65. Okay.
65.
So from that standpoint, we'll go with the Airborne song. That was a toss up for me, as like quite honestly, Cemetery Gates is probably my least favorite Pantera song, because it doesn't fit who they are, in my opinion. I think it was like a float back to their 80s metal days when they were a glam metal band.
Yes.
Some of the songs
It's still a great
that fit more into that style than it did what they became, which was just basically in your face power metal. That's what they were. That's what I know them for. My personal favorite is "I'm Broken" by them. I think that's probably just that just that chunky. It's just great. It's a great riff.
Chunky's a good word.
Chunky's a great word for Pantera.
Huh?
Chunky's a great word for Pantera.
Yeah. So that's just I'm a huge fan of Dimes, and I have to agree. His playing is probably underrated in the realms of guitar world aficionados. I think he was a lot more technically advanced than a lot of his counterparts. He just chose to play what came out of his soul, I think. So I think that's why those songs kind of resonate with me personally. So okay, let's go with Nate.
All right. So I'm going to start from my 3 and work my way up. So 3, I have to go with Tribute by Tenacious D. By a relatively slim margin over Cemetery Gates, but really, actually, now that I think about it, Cemetery Gates is probably my least favorite out of this group because, like we've said, not only does it not sound like a Pantera song, it sounds more like a Metallica song. And if my issues with Seek and Destroy and me complaining about Master of Puppets were clear enough, I'm not a fan of Metallica as a whole. I'm really not.
All right, hold on. What's going on here? Settle down, fellas. Opposite corners.
But I've not been like the biggest of Metallica fans, and so the fact that it sounded like a Metallica song was a bit off-putting to me because I'd heard it before. But anyway, back on track. Tribute. I think Tribute is. We're not giving it enough credit as a collective podcast because really, it is the greatest comedy song ever written. Like, you look at all of our other nominations, they've been relatively serious. Like, in terms of Tenacious D, it's lighthearted, it's fun, it's stupid, it's goofy, but it still manages to be a great song through all of that, and I think that's something that we should admire and acknowledge.
Thank you, Nate. I appreciate that.
So that's getting an endorsement or something? Is Jack Black on next week? Jack Black, I'm coming on here. What's that?
Jack, if you ever listen to this, reach out to us on social media.
Be more kind at gmail.com.
Yeah.
Forget the killing me plug. We're going Tenacious D now. I guess
Tenacious D on this thing.
Holy shit!
And I
bet Chip in the charge up to be good tour with. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So
fucking edit the whole shit.
Yeah, start all over again.
Start again. All right, Rich.
Hey, everybody, welcome to the show this week. But like
well said, though. I agree.
I agree.
Well said. I agree with that.
And like he alluded to, we've driven across country, 30 hours in the car. I listened to a lot of music. I listened to these all a lot, and one that kind of and my number 2 has to be Institutionalized. Because, institutionalized, like he said last week during the show, it's spoken word poetry at its finest. It
is exactly what a rock song should be, what a great song should be. You took my time. I'm taking a little bit of yours.
Go ahead.
Institutionalized is exactly, his parents are thinking he's on drugs. All he wants is a Pepsi.
Give him one of these.
The sideways thing. What if you do it upside down?
Sideways middle finger.
Oh. I don't know. Don't do that.
Turn it up.
No, stop that.
Let 10 minutes lose this shit now. It takes me back to my college days. Woo! 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 This is why the show is 2 hours long. 10 minutes worth of fucking shit. It takes us 2 hours to get to it. This is what happens. I'm exhausted.
I'm gonna turn it back over to Nate.
Anyway,
Institutionalized.
The other thing I enjoy about Institutionalized is
Pepsi.
Pepsi too.
we've talked about, like, with Folsom Prison Blues a while ago, like thematic coherence within a song. I really love Institutionalized in the way that it builds whenever he's angry. Like when he starts to repeat lines, it starts to get faster and faster, and he's just yelling at the chorus. And I think it very much sums up the way his emotions within the song, and I enjoyed that. But like I said, my number one was a song that started near the bottom of my list when I started listening to this, partially because of its god-awful mix. But then, like, as I listened to it, it kept going up and up and up every time I heard it. And it's clearly it's written in the 1960s. Pretty sure he talks about, like, violence in the Eastern world, and there's lines to Vietnam, there's lines about Vietnam, lines about Red China, lines about nuclear warfare. So it's quite clear when it's set. And initially I thought, oh, that makes it seem very, very dated. Like, it only applies to the 60s. But I thought about it, and it really still applies to now. Like, if you just take away the word red from in front of China, that line still works today. And for a song to be so hyper-specific to an era, but still apply to a completely different time frame nearly 60 years later is wildly impressive to me. And so I had to go with Eve of Destruction at number one.
Cool.
All right, and that leaves us, we're bouncing it over to Rod.
Hi! The picture you've all been waiting for.
Yep.
I got my list here. All right. That's my new theme song. Can you see that in the camera, right?
You can.
Anyway, I see Chris smiling. He got a grin. You know.
Shaking his head.
He's in college now. He knows. He's living that up. What's right, boy? What's up? Woo!
That's right, damn it.
That's right.
I'm living the college life, damn it.
That's right. Now you got to do it, man.
I need one of those shirts that says, I'm surrounded by idiots.
All right, I'll just start the last. It wasn't my favorite. I like it. But I'm going to put Greg Gaffin's song last. No, everyone else kind of ignored him.
That's true.
But he did answer a question once, and I figured I'll at least give him the fact of saying yours was the worst.
I'm sorry, Greg.
Sorry, Greg.
I
love the
We're
lyrics.
actually big fans.
The thing with Armageddon is that I think there are a ton of better bad reviews.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, like, I hear it and I go, oh, I want to hear Recipe for Hate. And so I go listen, and then I go, oh, I want to hear Generator.
So I got him last. I'm just sorry, Greg. But anyway, so then let's see. I guess I'll go with, and I like all these songs. So, but I guess I'm going. The next would be coming from the bottom up would be Tribute.
You guys are morons. God.
I agree with what Nate said about the song, but yeah, it's funny.
This is really seriously putting our friendship at jeopardy here.
Well, here's the thing.
No.
Now, if you listen to the song, and I kind of thought the way the song was built. Here's my theory on the song. I know what song they're talking about because this song that they wrote and the way they did it sounds like this song that I'm about to say. And go later and listen to it, and you'll say, wow, that's like the same type of pattern. And that song was nominated in this
competition.
This competition so far. Anybody have any guesses?
So it's already been nominated.
It's been
and
nominated.
You think this is the actual song
that they're talking about?
This is easy.
Because I think the song is patterned after this song.
Exactly. Institutionalized by suicidal tendencies.
Right. Oh my God! Am I wrong?
The bottomist fell out.
Anybody got any guesses?
Folsom Prison Blues.
No.
What a Wonderful World.
No.
You're YMCA by the Village People.
There you go, nailed it. Actually, well, this should narrow it down. I believe Nate nominated this song.
Whoa,
This song, the Tenacious D patterned their tribute song after the song, so they couldn't remember the actual song.
Oh, is it The Sound of Silence?
Pure Release.
No.
Pure Release.
Pure Release.
Yep.
Furry Elsa.
Float by Float.
No, not Float. You're going to nail it pretty soon.
Yeah, because we're
Bohemian
running out of
Rhapsody.
stuff.
Bohemian Rhapsody. That song is patterned after Bohemian Rhapsody, even with the vocal part. There's the whole vocal part in that song.
Oh my God!
When I was listening to that song, I thought this song is patterned after Bohemian Rhapsody. They're talking about Bohemian Rhapsody, which didn't make the cut. So anyway,
you bastards voted it down.
you guys.
Wow.
That's my thought on the song. So number 3, coming up, I don't know why that hit me. I might be full of shit, but I thought it was a cool compare. Thank you.
That was well done.
Yeah.
And when they did the vocal part, the boom doo 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 doo, I'm like, this is the Bohemian Rhapsody vocal part. But they're doing their own. So I was okay. But anyway, then I have to go with Cemetery Gates.
Okay.
So now we're in your top 3, right?
So now we're so Cemetery Gates would be 3 then.
3.
3. Yeah, because I included Greg Gaffin's.
Yeah. So that'd be 4 then.
His bad choice.
Well, actually, sorry, 3 because I forgot he can't nominate his own song.
Yeah, can't nominate me. Yes. I do love the squealing things in the Pantera song, but I like the song. I think it's a cool song. I remember it from years and years ago. It's well put together. Sounds good. I'm not exactly the biggest Pantera fan anyway, so hold on, Rich. I know.
Hold on. All right, okay. Just wanted to make sure there was not going to be trouble.
You know, there's a reason they weren't on the Big 4 tour.
Okay, all right, okay.
But anyway, to me, so we'll leave them at 3. We'll leave them there.
They were dead.
Better than Pantera.
Yes.
No.
Anthrax is fun as shit compared to
It's
Pantera.
not better than Pantera.
Oh yeah.
All right, Speed Round, best metal band ever, Pantera.
I might have to go with Rod on that. Anthrax.
Oh,
I love it.
I would list more Anthrax songs than I would.
What the hell is wrong with all of you?
That doesn't mean I don't like Pantera.
Nate, Pantera is better than Anthrax.
Thank you.
Without
They
question.
they're barely better than Anthrax.
It's come down to you.
Suddenly I'm involved in this.
You're the tiebreaker.
Yes, I know Rob Van Dam's theme song is Walk by Pantera. Are these the only 2 bands I get to pick from?
Anthrax and Pantera.
Anthrax or Pantera?
I know who's going to pick.
I'm going to say...
I know who's going to pick. I am the man.
I'm going to say Anthrax.
Oh! Thank you.
Jesus!
Ow! All right, so back to the list. There's a song. Now, think about other songs being patterned after. There's a song of these last 2, and you'll guess it pretty quickly because you know both these songs. There's a song here that if it's not, I'm not going to say it's a rip-off. I'm going to say it's very heavily inspired. There's a song here that's very heavily inspired by the band U2. And if you don't notice that, pay attention. Sometime Around Midnight is a fucking U2 song. It's not literally a U2. Listen to the guitar work. Listen to the vocals. Listen to how the song this story, and it builds and builds. Holy shit. I was like, this is a U2 song.
Now, is that a good thing or a
It's
bad
a good thing. It's a good thing.
Okay.
I'll use it as a compliment for them.
Because if you were to compare
It's not
suicidal
like-
tendencies to U2, we'd all have to take you to the hospital.
Yeah. Well,
You're the 2 people.
listen to that
Nobody
song.
goes back.
Listen to that song in headphones, and you'll hear the way the guitar parts. He's got to be influenced by the Edge. That has to be. And the way what I liked about it is there's not a chorus. It's not like set up normal.
No course. I love that.
And the bass player will change what he does in each one of he changes what he does a little bit every time. So it's the same, but it keeps changing, you know, in that build. And then obviously Institutionalized. So these are my top two. So this, I don't have enough. I'm not sure yet. So what? I'm just going to roll the dice.
Were you on a Pepsi?
I see what you did there. He's trying to buy me with the. All right. So I would say I'll say number one because you'll know the number two afterwards. Number one on these two songs is, I have to go with Sometime Around Midnight.
Oh,
So that leaves Institutionalized. A strong second.
Thank you.
But yeah, I was very shocked. I did the thing like Rich said, it was Sometime Around Midnight. When I heard it, I was like, I'm going to hear that again. And then later on, I went, dude, I want to hear that again.
Yeah.
But especially at the end, when he says it, you know it'll break you in two.
Yes.
And you know that's based on a true story.
Yeah, like the band.
Oh, that's based on a true story. Like that happened to the singer who wrote it. That's like his old girlfriend came in. He was with his band. Clearly got drunk and chased her into the streets and whatever. Yeah.
When he says the line like, "And your friends say, what is it? You look like you've seen a ghost."
Yeah.
That's like the friends are the band. Like they're the other people. And to me, there's the moment after the vocals finish. And that violin riff comes back.
Well, that's a violin too.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But like it comes back. If you listen to it in headphones, it starts in the right ear and it pans over to be balanced, and it kind of like washes over you, kind of like.
That's two violin mentions.
Two violin mentions.
All right. So where are we at?
Where are we at? Wait a minute. Let's hear the theme song now. The official tabulation. There we go.
All right. The votes are in.
I'm glad I contributed finally to this show, other than being an asshole. Still doing that though.
Yeah, no, you got something
on strong. All right, here we go.
The votes are in, and it has been one of our most one-sided weeks since What a Wonderful World absolutely crushed everything in the first week. 3 separate songs received no top 2 finishes. Armageddon, Tribute, and Cemetery Gates. Now, Institutionalized led the field in second place finishes with 3. But only got 1 first place finish.
Okay, that stinks.
Eve of Destruction ended up with 2 second place finishes and a first, not very far behind Institutionalized. But Sometime Around Midnight finished with 3 first place finishes. Wow. So to me, that says that Sometime Around Midnight is the clear winner.
Sometime Around Midnight is the winner. Yeah, there's our.
Oh, fuck, you do that.
Yeah, wait a minute, how'd you do that? We don't know how to do that. Look at that. Can you make the trumpet go again? Yes, that's perfect.
Wait, play tribute again, Dead Man. That was for Chris.
That's it, baby Jesus is coming after you.
Okay, but now,
hold on, the show's not over, bitches.
Sometime Around Midnight just won. Congratulations.
It's the number 1 contender, but it's still got to beat the champion. Sometime Around Midnight, and What a Wonderful World.
So it's
up next after a speed round.
After a speed round. Okay.
I got a speed round.
All right. Okay. I have one too.
I have 2, but one's really, really short.
Okay,
so we'll do.
Anybody else have a speed round?
Yep.
Okay, so you have 2.
I have 2. One
go first.
Actually, guys. So you'll do. We'll do your speed round. You bounce it to either me or Chris, right?
Okay.
We'll do What a Wonderful World and Sometime Around Midnight, and then you'll do your other speed round. Whichever one of us you don't pick will go, and then we'll do nominations for next week.
All right. What am I? Somebody wrote that down.
So I got it.
What your speed round?
My speed round. My first.
Yeah.
All right, you ready for the speed round? This is gonna be an easy one. Best hot sauce.
Whoa.
Best hot sauce?
Best
Frank's
hot
Red
sauce.
Hot. Frank's Red Hot.
Frank's Red Hot. Dead Man.
Oh, that's a tough one, man. I have to go with the Chinese version, with the cock on it, the rooster. What is that called?
Leave it to them and bring cock up.
Oh, I gotta think of.
There it is. Supposed to be a quick fucking round. Holy cock.
That's what it is.
What?
It's called Hoi Fong Hot Sriracha Sauce.
Big Dong what?
Hoi Fong Hot sriracha sauce.
I know where we're going, and we gotta stop this right now.
Rich, what about you? What's your favorite hot sauce?
Frank's Red Hot. Frank's. I say Frank's too, so we got a lot of Frank's going on.
3 Franks.
3 Franks. Frank's wins. All right, I pass it to Chris.
Okay. So last week I said, what was the song that came out of the 80s that you felt was still playing that would surprise you? So what band or song that didn't get it out of the 80s that you were surprised didn't make it later on?
The Great Commandment by Camouflage.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I don't even know what the hell that is. Go ahead.
They should have got out of the 80s, but didn't. I want to bring up one of my favorite songs. Actually, and I'll see if anybody else here knows it. Maybe you guys, some of you should. Is "Escalator of Life"?
Yes.
By Robert Hazard and the Heroes.
Yes. That's a great song.
No idea. I'm lost on this one. Damn.
Dead Man, you got one?
I'm trying to think of one here. Like you're saying it should have been more popular.
Yeah.
No, like they should have. They should have been. The song should have been more like a song that should be played in the radio regularly alongside "Beat It" and the other 80s staples. Like Rockwell. Still plays that shit. Who's Watching Me? That kind of stuff. It's like what is there a song from the 80s or band from the 80s that you thought would have made it out of the 80s? Well, they could still be playing out now, but like they're not as popular as you felt they should have been. Like how Guns N' Roses is out touring stadiums or things of that nature. That kind of thing.
So I have an interesting song. There was a band called Lillian Axe way back when, and they had a song. It's kind of a ballad, and it's called "The Day I Met You," which I think is a phenomenal song. I used to play it on my acoustic all the time. No one really knew what it was. Lo and behold, Green Day does a song called "Wake Me When September Ends."
Yeah.
And they ripped it off completely.
Ooh.
They completely ripped it off.
Oh.
Isn't that Green Day's modus operandi? Isn't that what Green Day does?
Pretty much.
Other people?
Wow.
Yeah. But then all of a sudden that song is popular and great, but it's like you just ripped them off. So if you guys get a chance,
I was in that one somewhere after the show.
I was going to make next week Green Day week. But I think maybe now it's not such a great idea.
All right.
I got one.
Oh, you got one?
I got one.
Okay.
What about me by moving pictures, you fucks? What the fuck? Remember that? You fucking killed that song. Great song.
There's a reason it died in the 80s.
No, yeah, because people like you killed great songs. You great song killer motherfuckers. Okay, there's my answer. Who's next?
All right, so
that wraps that up.
Oh, I wrapped up the segment.
no, I didn't do mine.
Christy.
Yeah, I didn't. So mine is a band and a song. They're kind of. I think they're still. Well, I think that the lead singer is still touring, but it was a band. It was a band called The Fix and a song called "Stand or Fall."
Oh yeah.
"Stand or Fall" was like. The song I always hear by them is actually one that they did with Tina Turner, which is "Better Be Good to Me." That was one that The Fix did with Tina Turner. But I honestly thought The Fix was going to be like U2-ish. Like, not that big, but I mean, I thought they were going to be a lot more popular for a lot longer than what they were. And "Stand or Fall" is one of my favorite, Red Skies at Night. That's another one. Just love that. Love the sound of that guitar player. I can't think of the guitar player's name, but he's a really good, really great guitar player.
All right, mine was just strictly the song, not the band and the song. So I would just want to say that. There's a band I thought could have been bigger in that came out of the 80s, and I thought they had a lot of really good songs, but they didn't get really big. They got big. Give me a break. But I would say Night Ranger.
Talking? Oh,
Night
Ranger.
Night Ranger was huge, though.
Yeah, look at now.
They were selling out arenas. They were headlining.
Not after Nirvana came along.
Not after Nirvana came along, but the Seven Wishes tour, which that album they were a headliner for that one. One thing that I don't know how, but Dawkins never ever got that far. But
you could
anyway,
arguably say Dawkins is just in this conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's.
They just Dawkins.
They just never. There's our Dawkins reference.
You have Dawkins on your bingo card.
I have a 3 quick round question. Well, no, it's not a quick round question.
Go ahead.
It is a quick round. It's just a question. I don't know if anybody knows the answer. No Googling's allowed. If you know the band Dawkins, you know George Lynch, right?
Yeah.
Okay. When he left, Dawkins broke up, and George Lynch started Lynch Mob.
Mm-hmm.
And he had his singers, Oni Logan.
Okay.
Oni Logan was his second choice. Who was the number 1 pick that George Lynch wanted to be his singer?
Jack Black.
No.
What?
Right now, I'm
Ozzy.
Googling it. No, not Ozzy.
Googling it.
No Googling.
I'm not. I don't even know. I didn't even know he would have chosen.
He is. Yeah, Oni Logan was a second choice. I do know that. I remember what you're talking about. I can't remember.
He wanted. I don't know. The guy from Warrant.
Close. Whoa.
Robert.
Close. The guy from Badlands. His name was Ray Gillen.
That's right. Yeah, Ray Gillen.
That was George Lynch's number 1. And when he couldn't get him because he said his band was more like family to him and he didn't want to leave him, and Lynch respected that. The band went to see and hijack Oni Logan. Oni Logan was playing in a band called Ferrari, and George Lynch went in and said, "Do you want to be in a band called Ferrari, or do you want to drive a Ferrari?" And that's when he asked him to be in the band. There's the story.
Oh, that's a good story.
There's our obscure musical fun fact.
And the Dawkins hook to it. All right, so now the match.
Now the big debate, the championship match.
Where's the music for that? I don't do that.
Yeah, I don't
That's
think
Chris. Chris does the music for this. Championship. Nice.
So this hand is What a Wonderful World. This hand is sometime around midnight. I'll be counting the votes for each. We will start, since the current champion is What a Wonderful World, as nominated by Rod, we will start with Rod.
What a Wonderful World.
That's pretty quick.
There's a shock.
Yeah.
Rich.
I'm
just going to go around the room. We'll go around it.
I'm also going to say What a Wonderful World. I love both songs are great, but What a Wonderful World. You're up. We're going around the room.
Yeah. I'm also, I know I nominated sometime around midnight, but I'm also going to say What a Wonderful World.
All right.
Mainly because to me, sometime around midnight feels something like you can't just listen to it and ditch halfway through if you have to. You don't feel fulfilled. With What a Wonderful World, you can ditch after like the first chorus and you're like, yeah, I didn't get all of it, but it was still an excellent song. Like sometime around midnight, you have to get to the end. I'm gonna take it to Chris then.
Wonderful World.
I'll be the oddball then, sometime around midnight.
All right.
So it was not a clean sweep. Having said that, after a dominating performance, What a Wonderful World holds on to its title and is still, as of this moment, the greatest song of all time. Before we get to nominations for next week, we have a couple more speed rounds. Rod, you have another one?
Yes. Okay. Say you're in a band.
Sure.
Right.
You're getting ready to go play to 15,000 people. whatever, 30,000 people, 100,000 people. You're backstage. What song do you play to get you pumped up to go out on stage? I would say The Beautiful People by Marilyn Manson. Go ahead.
Ooh, I know I've shit on them a lot in this show.
Talking?
Master of Puppets by Metallica.
Rich.
Wait a minute.
It's a speed round. It's a speed round.
But not with the stupid musical interlude thing. Just the cool part.
I let it keep talking for a minute while I think.
No, that's it. Just the actual.
All right, I'll interject. "We Will Rock You" by Queen.
We Will Rock You. Nice. Dead Man.
I'm gonna have to go with "For Whom the Bell Tolls."
Oh, nice.
Metallica.
Well, Rich.
It's going to be a Bad Religion song. You know what? It's going to be "Recipe for Hate."
Recipe for Hate.
It's going to be "Recipe for Hate" by Bad
That's
Religion.
the other one I was thinking.
My second would have been "I Still Believe" by Frank Turner. I think that would be.
That's a good one.
That would get me. But okay, that's my speed rounds.
So my speed round, we all hear like live music because live music is awesome, but it can't be debated that if you go see a band live, there's a gap between their recordings and their live performance. What band is that gap the largest? Whether that be by a band having terrible recordings or by a band being that good live.
Can it be the opposite? A band that's not as good live?
Yeah, we can do that too.
So there's a dissonance between the recording version and the live version of this particular
Good
band.
or bad?
Yeah,
good or bad.
Okay.
Okay. I might need a minute on this one. I know it's a speed round.
Yeah. I know it's a complicated topic. I explained a lot of it.
I'll say I got one.
All right.
Pennywise.
Yeah. Anyway.
No brainer for me. Their recordings are awful, but they're live. They're great. I can even say half the Descendants catalog. But okay.
I have two.
I'm going to go the opposite way. Dawkins. Now, it's the whole like Dawkins live in the '80s. Okay, like we saw them live with Aerosmith. They kicked ass. But if you like the last 10 years, 20 years, they man.
Well,
Bad.
Don
Bad,
Cancer.
just bad.
Where's the horn sound, Ben Man?
Yeah, that's what he can't sing.
It's gone. Voice
Yeah.
is gone.
That is so perfect.
Yeah.
You could put the voice in like you could go with like Motley Crue and never. His voice was never good, but it fit what they were doing.
Who's left? Rich,
So-
Dead Man?
Maybe.
I have two, and I'll tell you they're from personal experience, like stories here. So when I was in LA, I used to live there, Hollywood, and I saw a band called Guns N' Roses in end of '86 play, and I thought they sucked. I thought they were terrible. And then we heard that they got a record deal. Like I'd seen a lot of bands, and they're pay to play out there. So if you get on the Friday, Saturday rotation, you're like at the top of the heap out there. And they were always on that rotation. And I saw them one time. I'm like, oh, they suck, right? Then they get the record deal. And then we listened to the album. My bass player bought the album. We went back and listened to it. And it was like the greatest album I ever heard. Like, holy shit. Like, how did this happen? And then actually I saw them Monsters of Rock, and I didn't think they sounded great live, like compared to the album. The second one was I saw a show at the Civic Arena with Bon Jovi and Twisted Sister. And I forget who was headlining, but they were both opening up. And Twisted Sister was god awful. The guitars were some of the worst guitars I've ever heard. There was nothing like, there was no depth to the guitar sounds, and it sounded awful. So I don't know if anyone's ever seen Twisted Sister live. Maybe they were having a bad night.
No, they were bad on the albums and they were bad live.
Well, I was shocked at how horrible they were sounding live. I was embarrassed for them. So those are mine too.
All right, mine would be a band I've seen a couple times live. They're way better live than they are in any recorded versions, and I think their recording versions are really good. But the Violent Femmes are absolutely one of the best live bands I've ever seen. They sound so much fuller or bigger than they do on like their albums sound like folky, almost kind of clunky kind of things. Live, they are an amazing band. So I'd say the Violent Femmes.
That's a great pick.
That took me to another band.
Yeah.
Which one?
You guys may have heard of them. I don't know. It's a husband and wife. Shovels and Rope.
Yeah.
Shovels and Rope live are amazing. They put out so much sound for two people. They're coming to that Mountain View Amphitheater like next week or something with the Woods family or Woods, I don't know, some band. Oh my God. Shovels and Rope are amazing. And
interesting.
Yeah. And they got some cool meaty riffy stuff. Right? Yeah, it's a husband and wife. And the guitar player, the guy, he sings, he plays guitar, he has foot pedal stuff. The woman, she'll drum, she sings. They do harmonies all the time. And sometimes she's drumming and she has this like little piano thing over here. And she's doing stuff like and they've got a tambourine going. She has one foot's hitting the tambourine, the other one, it's amazing. They're amazing live. Amazing. Two people. Yeah. Nice. But their recordings are pretty good, but yeah.
The Violent Femmes are phenomenal.
Never seen them live.
You'll go there and you'll be like, it's three guys. It's the Violent Femmes. You've heard I heard their recordings. Why is there so much crap on this stage? There's like a xylophone. There's a giant standing harp. There's like a trumpet. There's a grill. Like just a grill. They play the grill.
He uses the grill in all these songs. I don't know.
The Violent Femmes are a great pick, but the one I initially thought of when I thought of this question is a punk ska band called the Aquabats. Their recordings are good, don't get me wrong, but seeing them live, I have described it to everybody as a transcendent experience because that's what it was.
True.
They're
a great live show.
Still the best cardio workout I've gotten to this day.
True.
Was that
the Aquabats? Gotta have your heads on your shoulder to die from flying pizzas and shit. Like they're whacked in the head.
That's a fun show.
It's a fun
show. The Aquabats are a great band.
So with that should be our last speed round.
Yep.
Which means we are now on to nominations for this upcoming week. Shit. Since sometime around midnight I will be going last this week.
You're going last. I'm going to go first and get this out of the way.
Oh boy.
Good. Start the midnight early.
Takes me back to my college days. Come on, Chris, you know what I'm talking about. Everybody. Oh,
just you and me.
It's like our handshake for the show now. This will be our tribute handshake.
Okay. This is going to go so bad, but I think this is one.
We're not shocked yet. Go ahead.
So pick is normal.
He's back with his old ways.
He's back with old ways.
You had him and suicidal tendencies. One wins. One comes in the second solid strong. Fucking off the rails. Here we go.
Fuck. This is an older song.
There we go.
Here we go. You're not going to know it.
No.
You're going to have to Google it.
Yep.
It's by a band who I believe released one album only.
No.
Nate knows what I'm talking about. And then they never recorded any other music as far as I know. The song is called Janitor by the Suburban Lawns.
Do not know that.
Oh, and don't just, you have to look up the video for the song. Yes, no, you're not going to get it if you don't look up the video for Janitor by the Suburban Lawns.
You're not going to get it even if you look up the video.
Wow.
And I will toss it.
Wow.
Wow.
I just feel like I don't even know what happened right there. I don't even have any.
Oh, wait till you hear that. Wait till you watch it. Wait till you watch it.
Oh, I can't wait.
Look, if Devo and the Talking Heads had a baby,
it wouldn't be this good.
It would.
It would not be good enough to be featured on the show.
Wow. At least we know where you're headed, though. At least that gives me an idea.
Dead Man's gonna hate it. He's gonna hate it.
I can tell already. That man's gonna hate it.
But it's one of my favorite songs. I love it.
The first time he showed it to me, I stood there for a good 5 minutes before I was like, what the hell was that?
He's mesmerized by the awesomeness.
No, just in
Somebody drank my coffee.
sheer confusion.
So I just, and also I'm gonna warn you, this is the beginning of about 3 or 4 like this that I've got loaded up. So
It'll be a long summer, kids.
get ready.
Long summer, kids.
Dead Man, you're up.
All right. I'm going way back to 1979 here.
Ooh,
By a
nice.
guy by the name of Billy Thorpe, who wrote a song. It might have been his only hit that I know of, called Children of the Sun.
Oh. I don't even think I know that.
Yes.
No, you know that.
Children of the sun. Oh, wait.
No, isn't it? How's it go a little bit?
Children of the Sun. Oh, no.
There you
It's
go.
got an epic beginning.
Children of the sun.
Children of the Sun.
Children of the Sun.
Children of the sun.
Yeah.
I gotta reach my notes.
Yeah.
We're putting down notes.
I'm getting rid of my Ray Gillen thing I put in there.
For the longest time, I thought that was Billy Squire. I have no
Really?
idea why. Yeah, I thought his voice sounded a lot like Billy Squire.
I love Billy Squire.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
What do I want to try this week? Oh.
Don't Say No is an underrated album.
Yep. We tried to do his Christmas song, remember? It didn't work out.
Oh, is that the same guy?
Yeah, Billy Squire.
Oh, Billy Squire. Okay, I was gonna say, wait,
Billy's mixed up.
I got my Billies mixed up. Bunch of Billies. Wow.
All right, toss it around
Okay.
to somebody who's
Let's
not
go
named.
let's go to Rod. I want to hear Rod's thing.
All right, Rod's pick this week. Let me think. I have 3 or 4 I want to choose.
You got to beat my song, which is not gonna be easy.
No,
It'll be pretty easy.
this won't be. This is not going to be easy.
Pretty easy.
All right, this was my. I'm going to finally use this hand. This was my number 2. The first song we decided to do this was obviously the champion. This was my number 2 song for this contest. The second song I wrote down on my list. Purple Rain by Prince.
Yes! Oh, yes!
That was my number 2. I thought Rich would have nominated this by now, but he's gone off on some wild tangent, so I'm going to use it myself. So
I had my chance.
you had your chance. I've been waiting 8 weeks, you said. So
I've been waiting 8 weeks to spit that
it's
out.
only 6 weeks show, but it feels like 8 weeks. I've been waiting to spit that one out.
All right, Purple Rain.
Purple Rain by Prince. Yes, sir.
The one and only Prince. Still alive somewhere.
Yes.
Prince is not dead, ladies and gentlemen.
Stop. You're driving away all the viewers that we have, how many?
Talk about a solo. Solo. Oh, talk about a guitar solo. Oh,
Yeah.
Anyway.
Great song.
All right. Chris, you should be up.
Chris. I'll throw it to Chris.
All right. So there's this little band that didn't get out of the '80s, but they were really good. And everyone knows the song, and whether you like it or not, you gotta throw it through. You gotta sing along to it. You have no choice. It's just like, and I purposely didn't look up the name of the band because I can't think of the name of the band, but we all know the song. I know what guys want. I know what guys want. I know what guys want. No, I'm just kidding. That was a joke. It was a joke. I just got done listening to Rich's nomination. I had it muted, and I like that video, and I like that song. I do like it. It's definitely. I like it. There's just
There are no words to describe what happens on your ears.
It's not a dumpster fire that I thought it was going to be. So, all right. So I'm going to have to go with. I'm going to pick an Ozzy song. Nobody's done it yet, so I'm going to do it. Ozzy has some great songs from first two albums to the second two albums to the stuff he did with, Zach Wilde. I even enjoyed some of the stuff that he's done lately. What he did with Gus G. I don't hate the album like a lot of people do. I think Gus G was a capable guitar player. I kind of wish Joe Holmes would have got a chance to record an album with him because I'd love to hear what that would have turned out like. Because Joe Holmes, Lizzie Borden guitar player, filled in for Zach Wilde while he did the Black Label Society stuff. But as much as we like everybody that followed Randy Rhoads, we can't. If we're going to pick an Ozzy song, it has to be one that was done with Ozzy. With Randy Rhoads, because those two albums are the two greatest Ozzy albums. They're better than the Black Sabbath albums. Yes, I said it.
Yep, I agree.
Okay. And they're two completely different albums. The first one is as raw as it can get. It's from I Don't Know through Crazy Train. That's great sounding, and for having not a lot of polish. But Diary of a Madman, on the other hand, I like it because of its polish. And there's a lot of great tunes on that album called, like You Can't Kill Rock and Roll, Little Dolls, SATO. But I think the song that culminates the songwriting between Randy Rhoads, including Bob Daisley, we'll put him in there, and Ozzy Osbourne, is the actual song "Diary of a Madman." "Diary of a Madman" is it took metal, some hard rock, where it hadn't been yet. Okay, I mean, just from the opening, acoustic guitar through, they tease you with a hard rock after the acoustic, some heavy metal guitars. Like you think it's going to go heavy metal, hard rock there from that point forward, but then it goes into the chorus where it's just, screaming at the mirror or at the window. Just that whole interlude was great, and then it just the build up to the solo. Just fucking phenomenal. It's a great tune, any way, shape, or form. There's nothing quite like that song to me. I mean, I'm a fan of all the other stuff. Crazy Train, the first album. I Don't Know. I love all those tunes. But I think for the Ozzy album and that relationship with him and Randy Rhoads, that song musically and lyrically takes it to the best place that they had. That to me is their best collaboration.
That's a good choice.
Yeah, good choice. Good pick.
Get off your phone, kid.
Shoosh. So, I don't know. I've never gone last before. This is a fun feeling. I like it. It's nice. It's wonderful.
Shout out.
Knowing what everybody else's nominations are is fun because this means that I know this is going to fit in to absolutely none of the categories the other ones will.
Nice.
I like the aforementioned 30-hour car drive across the country. I had a lot of time to potentially overthink this pick and do something really, really stupid here.
Rich, your pick is not stupid. It's a good tune.
It's a good song. It is a good tune. In reality, it's pretty fun. But I did have a lot of time to overthink it, and I don't think that I did. Because I'm going with a classic that you all should know. It's, in my opinion, the best mix of any song we've had. Especially, like, I was thinking about Eve of Destruction and then Sound of Silence. Great songs with horrible mixes. This is a great song with a beautiful mix. Listen specifically to the bass if you're listening with headphones. But
are there violins in this?
There are no violins in this song because it's It can be that good because it's Time in a Bottle by Jim Croce.
Oh, that's a good song. That's a good song.
That's a good song.
And the fact that it took 6 weeks before Jim Croce was nominated is criminal. Especially when one of those nominations was YMCA by Village People.
Yeah, and one of yours was For Release by Beethoven.
Yeah, but Fury Release is foundational.
We did this show. Hold on.
Okay, but Fury Release makes sense within the context. It's not YMCA.
No, I know what Rich was going for. He was going for popularity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure what I was going for.
And it backfired on his ass.
You guys don't know what he was cooking.
The craziest part is that he was talking with my mother about it beforehand. This was cleared by multiple people. Like, multiple people thought this was a good idea. And they were like, yep.
So what's up this week? I don't know half these songs this week.
Recap real quick.
This week, in a very eclectic group, Rich nominated Janitor by Suburban Lawns. Denman nominated Children of the Sun by Billy Thorpe. Rod nominated Purple Rain by Prince. Chris nominated Diary of a Madman by Ozzy Osbourne. And I nominated Time in a Bottle by Jim Croce.
There's some
Sweet.
I think there's some heavy hitters in
Yeah,
there.
this is a fun group.
But can somebody topple the champ?
When they're in,
Yeah.
we will find. Well, I'll find out. I don't know. Can someone topple
The
the
champ feels unbeatable to me.
I don't think
I don't
it's that
know. I don't think it's unbeatable.
I think it's beatable.
Okay.
If we get the right song. I don't think Janitor's the one to do it.
Janitor's the
Janitor will be the one. It'll be something like when we know, we'll all be like, "That's the greatest song ever," and then it'll just tear through the fucking place. That's okay with me. But Chris has the first listen.
Congratulations to everyone for a solid group of picks. This was a
This is
yeah.
our first one.
The fact that Rich nominated a song with Janitor, I said, I have to listen to this song right now and give him my feedback right away. And I have to say, Rich, that's a good pick. I love the video.
Okay.
The video is the negative look of that video. It could easily have been a Devo song playing behind that.
Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah.
And there's a weird story behind the singer of the band. She's not in a bad way, like she was murdered, but she's disappeared. Like she did that album.
It could be bad.
It could be bad.
Could be bad.
She did that album and supposedly did a solo album that's just like piano pieces. But then, like, has done nothing since then.
You pulled a Betty Page?
Yeah, not in a bad way. Like, nobody thinks she's dead or murdered or anything.
Yeah, like Betty Page. Betty Page just disappeared.
Yeah. Like, the prevailing thing is this lady, her name in the band is Sue Tissue. The prevailing theory is she just, like, finished college and then is just, like, a lawyer or a teacher or something someplace and just never...
Just was like, that was fun. I'm done.
But if you dig deep enough on the internet, which I do sometimes, you'll find Suburban Lawns, bands like that.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So what we learned is our celebrity guests don't really pick good songs.
No.
They've not hit the mark yet.
Hold on. I'll take it. If you're a celebrity and you happened upon this.
First off, how did you get here?
Yeah.
Second off,
we'd love to have you. Please reach out to us on all our social media accounts. Do we have social media accounts?
You can comment on here.
Comment on the video, and somebody will see that.
Maybe.
And then put you on. You know what? You don't even have to be famous. You know what? The next 5 people that comment on this will just have their song on the show.
Yes.
Boom.
Yes.
Done.
Yes, I like that. I like that.
Thanks for the clap. Well, I'm hoping somebody actually comes through on that. And no, you guys can't log on to YouTube. You can't log on. You can get a second choice in there. Under Joe Hot Dong Ding Dong Hot Sauce or whatever it is. Long Dong Ding Dong.
No, hold on. Stopping that car right away again. I know where this goes.
Thanks, Dan Man, for spicing the show up a little bit.
You got it.
Now,
Spice
you
in the show.
you guys ever hear of Chip and the Charge Ups? I just want to know. You can nominate one of their songs. You can
That's
nominate
true.
a local
You
band.
can nominate a local band if you're from the
Now
Pittsburgh area.
here now. Normally
area.
we have a Killing Me update. I was just wondering.
That's true.
Now, I was just wondering. I saw that Dan Jones is
No last name.
is asking this guy Dan. We'll edit that out.
Yeah. You're making my life hell right here.
That I noticed that he's looking. He's the drummer. He's looking. He's available. So I just didn't know if Chris is doing anything or Dead Man. Like, are you guys interested? Do you have a side project? Are you guys in a band? Is anybody here in a band?
That's a great idea for these two. Should get hooked up with this Dan guy.
Yeah, he's a drummer. Yeah, they could hook up with him.
And they should start a band.
They could. I'm saying they could if they're not in something already committed.
Because you're in Killing Me.
I'm in Killing Me. My schedule's full.
We're in, and you're in
I'm third
Blood
band.
Covenant Mac and Cheese.
Yeah, I'm in two bands.
Yeah.
And I do my own solo stuff. So I'm exhausted.
Sorry, guys. I'm in rehearsals right now for a tour that's upcoming, so I have to pass. I'm filling in for Mr. Eddie Van Halen for the upcoming Van Halen reunion tour.
Sweet.
So
Nice.
yeah, I'm respectfully gonna have to pass on that great offer.
Yeah.
To join a Dan Jones band. You know, I'm sorry.
No last name.
Dan's looking. DJ Dan J. What about you, Dead Man? Are you in a band, Dead Man, or anything?
I am actually, and I don't want to announce it or put anything out, but I'll tell you guys until we actually start recording. I'm in a band we go by STS, Sinners to Saints. So play with a few guys, and remember the old saying? Well, you know Rod.
Yes.
Remember Rod? He filled in
Rod.
for us. He's our bass player / singer.
Cool.
And
Rod
him and I argued because I didn't think he could play and sing bass at the same time.
I
Because you
can't.
don't see that. Yeah. But you don't see that a lot. Like a lead, I mean, Jack Blades does it, but you don't see a lot of guys doing that. And so we argued, and I'm like, I don't think he can do it, but he proved me wrong.
Level 42. Their lead singer is a bass player. Kajagoogoo.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. No, not Kajagoogoo.
But yeah,
I just
so
didn't say that name.
we have about 7 or 8 songs we wrote, and I want to start recording. And I don't want, like, as soon as we get stuff recorded, then I want to start the social media stuff and all that. Now, the last time I heard about this guy you were talking about, I heard he was in a band with this guy who played bass named Mike. They called him the racist bassist, and a guy named Sid, and they had a female singer.
Yes.
So that's the last I heard. I thought they were doing stuff.
That fell apart.
Why?
That fell apart?
You know why? I think it's.
You?
I think it's because someone had health issues, probably.
Yes, that's exactly what happened. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
This all seems very insidery.
Well, we can't name names, so
We can't name names except for the people whose names you've already named.
except for all the names we're throwing out. Yeah, but yeah, it had to do with a certain guitar player.
Those are all aliases. Those names aren't real. They're
That's right.
If they resemble anybody in real life, this is fiction. What we're talking about is fiction.
Yeah.
Any resemblances
It's
to real life individuals?
purely coincidental if it resembles anybody in the real world. Purely coincidental.
And the One Young Punk and 4-Year-Old Fox podcast is not responsible for any legal damages that you may encounter.
Wow. Nice job. You're like a lawyer.
Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah.
We'll find
It's
out.
the name of the show.
Oh,
I mean,
Yeah, you say it's the name of the show.
Blindfold.
who's gonna know who the racist bassist is, right? Who?
Exactly.
I mean, he was kind of fancy. I just remember him being fancy. That's all.
That's right. You had to be in the room for that one. Oh, yeah. If you're in the room for that one, you know. Whew. Oh my. Wow. So yeah, did anybody see what I posted on Facebook? Did you see did you hear the song "Rise Up" by Extreme?
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, yes.
Good
Hear that-
song.
Hear that solo in there? Holy shit!
I'll tell you what,
Nuno
he's
Betancourt
underrated.
is a fucking badass guitar player. Just
He is.
Nuno's amazing.
always been great.
Nuno Betancourt, extreme.
Nuno Betancourt, just
Incredible.
highly. Well, I can't say he's underrated, but he should have been bigger than what he. That band should have been bigger than what they were.
There's a band that should have been bigger. There you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, there's no way anybody can say that band should not have had a huge fucking following. That boggles my mind as well. I mean, you figured their songs like, I'm not trying to compare them. Like, Mr. Big was another one. They had that song, that was number one hit. You figured, oh, this is it. They're good. They're on their way to stardom. You know what I mean?
To Be With You was that song. Yes.
To Be With You, yeah. That was the number one song, right? So you kind of, I thought that same thing with More Than Words. I said, this is it. They're going to hit the stratosphere after this, and it just,
just didn't happen. Yeah.
Didn't happen. Yeah.
Here's a band that should have worked and didn't work. There was a great band and they had a great singer and it was not good. And that was when the guy from Extreme was in Van Halen.
Gary Sharon.
Yeah. How does that not work? How does that not? That band should have been genius. Wow. Didn't work.
Yeah.
Didn't work. That guy's a great singer.
But I'm going to tell you what's going to work. It's me filling in for Mr. Mr. Eddie Van Halen with. Now here's how we're going to do it. We're going to have a revolving, not stage, okay? It's going to be a revolving singer door. So there's going to be a little. It's going to be so they don't have to be on the stage at the same time, okay? At the end of the song, Sammy will go into this door, and it'll swivel around, and David Lee Roth will come out, and we'll sing it. We'll do a David Lee Roth song. The David Lee Roth will go back to the door. It'll revolve around, so they don't have to be on stage together. Okay.
Spinal Tap.
And no, it's not gonna have Wolfgang. Wolfgang's not gonna be the bass player. Michael Anthony's back in on bass.
Good. He shouldn't be the. But okay, good.
There's a question. It sounds like from the audience.
Thank you. We're not taking questions at this time. Thank you very much. I'm Miss Harris on the White House. I'm Joe Biden. I don't take questions right now.
No
names.
Just drop the name.
Go ahead.
No names. That's
right. You know what? That guy in the center there with the one in the middle there. Yeah, you can. Yeah, okay. You go ahead. You go ahead. Ask a question. I'll see if I have the script that I can read for the answer.
You got it. The door thing you were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
The Sammy Hagar and David Lee Roth. Why do you need that? Why Sammy there?
Well, because believe it or not, Sammy Hagar with Van Halen had more number one hits than they did with Mr. David Lee Roth.
Well, but you said it yourself. Popularity is quantifiable. Greatness is subjective.
I'm in this for the money. I don't give a two shits who sings it. I'm doing this for the fucking money. If I can pull fans, both the Sammy fans and the David Lee Roth fans,
Gary Sharon
I get more money. Plain and simple.
Do a Gary Sharon song so he can go on tour with you.
Yeah, what about him?
I'll have to ask and see if we
extreme.
You know what? This could be like. This could be like what behind what door? Door number 1, door number 2, door number 3, and the audience will pick.
There you go.
Door number 1, door number 2, or door number 3, and go from there. Whoever's behind that door at that time, we'll sing a song from that album.
When do you play in Pittsburgh? That's the next question. When is in Pittsburgh?
We're one of the greatest rock bands in the world. You think we're coming to fucking Pittsburgh? We're coming to fucking
Holy
Cleveland,
mackerel.
damn it. Goddamn
We just
Cleveland.
asked people to comment and put their songs on the thing. No, we can't
Bold
make.
of you to
What?
assume I'm not
What?
editing the past 10 and a half minutes out of all of this.
It is bold.
Well-
Here it is. You know, whenever they build a stadium that's worthwhile playing in, because Lord knows that stadium that they built for that two-rate football team they have.
Whoa,
You know, it's just-
whoa, whoa.
Hey, you know that's just
He had to
that's
be
just
baseball.
pathetic.
Wait a minute. Are you going to go to the Wiener Schnitzel parking lot?
Yes, I go to Wiener Schnitzel's parking lot.
There you go.
You know,
I'm shocked you've never heard of Wiener Schnitzel because it's a Descendants song.
I know it's yes. The Schnitzels are all good songs. I had the Wiener Schnitzel at the Hofbrauhaus.
so next week I want to have a set list from all four of you guys of songs we that you know from the three eras of Van Halen that we should play.
Do I have?
So I can learn them. I have to learn them. You know. Of course that won't take but about 15 minutes. But just saying.
Oh yeah, you probably know them already.
Yeah, I mean,
It's, I can see them. I can see the chords in my brain, and I can. I just have to put it on the fretboard. That's not going to be.
Eddie Van Halen, you hit some harmonics and you do the whammy
You
bar.
gotta have the whammy bar though. You gotta just have the whammy bar.
Yeah. We could do the Masked Singer thing for the Van Halen thing. We could, so people would have to get,
is it David
have
Lee
a
Roth?
rotating Masked Singer.
That's a good idea.
Oh my
But
God!
David Lee Roth was just a Jim Dandy ripoff, right? I mean, really?
Yes,
He was
he
just
was.
ripped off.
Yeah.
He was. That's very true.
He ripped the whole stick off from Jim Dandy. So
Yes, he did.
but it worked. It worked for Dave. It worked for Dave. Better.
The white crotch riding pants. Yes,
Yeah.
with the furry boots.
That's for
I
sure.
have a speed round, but the answer's real easy.
Okay, go ahead.
Speed round, the answer's Van Halen is the answer. Sammy Hagar era. The question is, what band wore the worst clothes in the history of fucking rock and roll? And that would be Van Halen during the Sammy Hagar era. Just saying.
No.
What the fuck were they wearing? Jesus criminy. Oh my God. Did you go back and search some pictures of Sammy Hagar and Ben? What the fuck? I can't. Look, I don't even want them to be on the show because they don't know how to fucking dress themselves. My God.
Eddie's parachute pants were pretty bad.
Yeah.
Hey, that whole area.
Whatever those ninja pants were that he was wearing, I don't no idea.
They just had like beach colors on. I don't know what the hell is going on. There's some picture came up. Yeah, what the fuck? Sammy had nice hair, and then I don't know, everything went to shit. And Sammy's 150 now, and he's still rocking. That's cool.
Yeah, he is.
There's been no Sammy Hagar songs on this show. What the hell's
good reason?
No, Hagar had some good songs, man.
Yeah.
no Van Halen yet?
If what's the
What are you thinking about? Album, song?
song? You do what you gotta do.
Oh, yeah.
Leave it all up to you do.
Is that Your Love Is Driving Me Crazy?
Your love is yes.
Yeah.
That's a great fucking
That's
tune.
a great song.
Yeah.
Fantastic
Is that a
song.
Sammy Hagar era song?
That's a Sammy song.
That's a Sammy
wrong. How do I do this?
The Red Rocker. The Red Rocker. You were the big Red Rocker fan.
Sure, until he joined Van Halen.
Well, that don't take away from his Sammy Hagar Red Rocker days.
Right. Exactly.
It shouldn't take away from that. I get why it could, but it shouldn't.
I think
It is still a little bit surprising, considering all of this at this point is off the record.
What's the most overrated band?
Metallica.
Metallica. Woo! Holy shit.
Whoa! Overrated? Wow.
Like I said, I think Metallica, they're not bad,
Wow.
but it's like you look at Master of Puppets, and it's a good song,
Oh.
but like Just this random little
They
2-minute.
headlined the Big Four. They were the.
This is this random stupid
I don't-
2-minute little clean guitar
I
solo.
thought-
It's that for 2
Wow.
minutes. Master, there's a Baltimore. There's okay. Stop. There's a Baltimore. There's a Baltimore punk band called End It. They released an album recently, a 6-song album. It is 30 seconds shorter than Master of Puppets. The entire 6-song album is shorter than
I'm
Master
not
of
buying
Puppets.
that. I'm not getting my money's worth. Minus
You're not
$2.
buying it anyway. You're going to stream it.
That's true. I ain't buying it.
Buy it.
Spotify's gonna get the money.
Metallica, they have.
Spotify's getting money.
They're like Whiplash is good.
Wow.
Whiplash. That's about where it ends with
the
Metallica
album,
for me.
Rod the Lightning, the album,
And I know,
So-
Master of Puppets, the album, and Justice for All is
All right,
great.
so we all realize that Mr. Nate has a metal deficiency because he needs to
You need vitamin metal.
he needs to start taking some iron, like metal supplements of some kind because I'll tell you what, it's like,
then I know what I'm nominating already.
but my overrated is Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah. I say him and U2. U2 are my two.
I can't go U2. U2's got some really good songs.
I don't really have an answer for this.
No,
You got to get an answer.
I'm thinking, what?
you know,
Overrated.
Who do you think like come out and you're like, they shouldn't be this? They don't have to be hugely popular. I mean, they don't have to be Bruce Springsteen, or U2, but I mean, or Metallica. You got to pick some big ass fucking.
Yeah.
They would fill the shitty stadium in Pittsburgh if any of them played here, but
Yeah,
yeah, no shit. Yeah, they would.
they
All three of
definitely.
them.
I'm gonna say this because the only reason this band is known, and I don't give a shit. This fucking band is overrated, and they don't need to be on this show because I'm not interested. They're only popular because the guy's dad, and that's that Wolfie Van Halen's fucking shitty band. They sound like 100 other fucking shitty bands. Whatever that shitty band is called. The only reason anyone gives a fuck about him is because Eddie Van Halen was his dad. If Eddie Van Halen was not Wolfie's dad, that band would have never fucking seen the light of day. They'd be playing the shithole bars in Pittsburgh. Simple as that. Fucking simple as that. It's so simple. It's so fucking cut and dried. Pathetic. Unbelievable. Now, who's next?
I guess me.
Sammy Hagar. No, okay.
I don't know. An overrated.
I don't know.
It took me by surprise.
I came up with the song and I had no answer. I had a question. I didn't have an answer. I was like, I don't even know.
You could go like modern day. You could go like One Direction,
Culture Club.
Coldplay.
Well, those are good answers. I mean, like any.
Coldplay's a damn good band. Back off.
That's the topic of debate.
You guys debate it while I think of the answer to this.
I really band like you hear, like you go.
I'll show my hand a little bit right now. I've been considering nominating Viva La Vida for like a couple of weeks now because that's
Real.
phenomenal.
I like the Scientist.
That's my problem.
That or Claw
Too much stuff.
are two favorite.
I kind of.
Yeah, to me, Coldplay is just not within the genre I like to.
You know, I got
Yeah.
one now.
Okay.
Oh, you got one.
I got one now.
Okay.
It's Garth
And a
Brooks.
man. Who?
Garth Brooks.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Another guy that would fill up the stage. He was here and played 5 sold-out shows, but holy fuck.
I know. He's got a residency in Las Vegas now.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Wow.
I saw him.
You know
I
what?
thought he was fucking amazing. He was great.
So, yeah, I saw him in Oklahoma back in '93. 93. I saw him at the Oklahoma State Fair. He was really, really fucking good live, and he's funny as hell. The guy has if you ever at his Vegas he does this one man show. The guy is a comedian. He's funny. Now, am I going to go seek out Garth Brooks? No, I'm not going to do that. I just happen to have the ticket was free, was with admission. Like if you're paying to get into the state fair, you got to go to the concert if you wanted to go or something like that, you know. And like he was good live. Don't get me wrong, But I would agree he's overrated.
Oh, okay.
He's good, but he's
yeah,
overrated.
he said.
I thought Ron was going to say Rush. I swear to God.
That's
like,
next week. That's next week.
He's overrated band. He's got to be Pink Floyd, Rush, Led Zeppelin. It's got to be one of these
You
three.
guys went with the stadium bands. I mean, you guys went with the big guns. They're not coming on this show. Metallica and
I don't want them.
here's a little question. I thought about this because I have a song. I have an answer for this thing.
All right.
Has there been a song that has been nominated in this competition throughout the whole existence of what we're doing that maybe you knew it, maybe you didn't know it, but all of a sudden now you listen to, or maybe you never listened to it, but now you go, I'm going to go listen to that song. I'm going to say that song for me is Toy Soldier by the Menzingers. That's the song I kind of like. Oh, I'm going to go listen to that again.
I Am a Stone by Demon Hunter.
I'm a Stone Demon Hunter. I'm a Stone Demon Hunter.
Song.
For me, it was rediscovering A Girl Like You by the Smithereens.
Not yet.
Yeah, that's a good song too.
Yeah, I that's on my playlist right now. So
cool, nice.
So,
That's good. Yeah, well, definitely this sometime around midnight is really good for me.
The band, the Airborne Toxic Event, is fantastic. If you listen to their album, I think it's called All at Once.
Their older stuff's really good. I'm not as big a fan as like what they've done recently, but their stuff from like 10 years ago.
What is it?
I know you and I like, but like I like their older stuff a lot better.
No, I'm not saying that. I have mainly their older stuff. What's it?
I think that will qualify as one now for me, but this week, man. I mean, it'll come up more now, but yeah.
All right. So what's the recap?
So the recap probably won't make it into the final cut because I might have to cut most of this end out.
No, we'll leave it in. Look, until we get sued.
Right. Yeah, what's the point, right?
Fuck them.
That's right.
Fuck them, exactly. Fuck them.
So,
fuck them all.
Well, not the first part we're going to edit out.
All right, here we'll get that
the first part.
Sorry, Dan, man. We got off the track. This is why it's a 4-hour show.
It's a 4-hour show. No one's listening this deep into this anyway.
Yeah, no, our watch time goes down after 2 minutes and 11 seconds.
That's right. 2 minutes and 11 seconds, they're out. So,
this week, the number one. The number one contender coming out of this week was the Sometime Around Midnight by the Airborne Toxic Event. It subsequently lost to What a Wonderful World by Louis Armstrong, who is still currently your champion. But next week's nominations for the number one contendership are Janitor by Suburban Lawns, as nominated by Rich, Children of the Sun by Billy Thorpe, as nominated by Denman, Purple Rain by Prince, as nominated by Rod, and Diary of a Madman by Ozzy Osbourne, as nominated by Chris, and Time in a Bottle by Jim Croce, as nominated by me. But until then, What a Wonderful World stands atop the mountain as our champion and currently the greatest song of all time.
Yeah.